But I think before that, we can also spend some time, in introducing ourselves and what can be the expectations from this course and how we'll be navigating throughout this entire spring semester. And so there is a course structure, and I would also like to discuss some very fundamental, basic, technical things that would comprise of this course or the functioning of the course for this semester. And those are the information that you really need to keep in mind. And I think this would make your life a little more convenient. And Omid is there, so you can see Omid. So Amit, you can say a quick hello. So Amit is
Yes, hello everyone.
TA for the course. Yeah. Yes, Amit.
If there are any problem regarding the course or any kind of material distribution, you can ask me, and my mail ID will be available. I will write in the chat box as well, and course mail ID is already there for you. You can mail me. I am the research scholar under Dr. Jinia Mukherjee, doing my PhD on solid waste management. It is also part of environment, and you can learn from plenty of things during this course. As I have already been there for almost 2 years with this course, so you can learn something. I can say this that about the environment. What is environment and what is humanity? So that is the brief part from my behalf.
Uh, Yes, thank you very much, Amit. And Amit has been my TA for the last, for all the online semesters that we have had till now. I think 3, 4. This is the 4th one, right? So and yes, and he has been a very good support, because like the initial phase of switching from the offline to the online mode was not easy, but now I think we are comfortable with this online mode. So Amit has been a very thorough support in this, and this time we also have Shorodeep. So Shorodeep, would you also like to say a quick hello? So Shorodeep has joined this time, and he will be taking care of some of the technicalities, and more importantly, Shorodeep would be actually uploading materials or readings for you. So readings in the form of PDFs, PPTs, other Word documents in the file, in the drive. Sorry. So both of them are there, and like so now I'll be covering the technicalities. So for example, I'll just very quickly maybe share my screen. Yeah, so you will see that this is the email ID which I used to send emails to all of you yesterday. So this is environmental humanities kgp@gmail.com. So you'll be receiving all the emails for this course from this particular email ID. So this email ID is being handled by the 3 of us. So mainly Amit and Shordeep, but I also have access to it. So I know the password. So 3 of us will actually be using this particular email ID to send you emails, and whatever queries or any other thing when you will be submitting assignments. So definitely we'll have several sets of instructions for you when you'll be actually asked to submit an assignment or work on a group assignment, etc. So we'll definitely provide specific sets of instructions against those assignments and all. But in general, this is the email ID from where you'll be receiving information, and this should be the email ID in which you should also be responding. Or if you want to write to us, you have to write to us using this particular email ID. So if it is very urgent or something like that, you can also copy me. So my email ID is also there in the email that you had received yesterday night. So you can see this. My email ID is, my personal email ID is jiniamukherjee@gmail.com. So if something is very, very urgent, so you need a very quick answer to that, so you should be writing to this email ID, environmentalhumanitieskgp@gmail.com, with a copy to me, so that I access my Gmail, personal Gmail from also my mobile. So if it is very, very urgent, then I can, of course, take a look into your email. But if it is only urgent, If not, then of course, this email ID, the environmental humanities one, and also will be very frequent with environmental humanities email ID. Every day will be accessing this at least once or twice, so you don't need to worry at all. So this is one. Second is that we will be actually, so one another important thing which I also wanted to share is that I am very, very pathetic with MS Teams. So I don't know from the very beginning. So that is why I don't use MS Teams, but I rather prefer the Google platform. So because it's much easier for me, and I also manage all my other projects by using Google platform. So for the last 3 semesters, I'm actually using Google platform, and there is no problem, no inconvenience at all. So I can assure that there should not be any glitch in terms of access to materials, in terms of several other things that generally an online course actually demands. So we will be using the Gmeet link, this particular link, every day. No, I have not. This is the first class actually. That is the reason why this is the first class, because last week I did not take any class, and I sent an email to all the students whose email IDs I actually had, and this is the first class we are having. So no need to worry at all. And I knew that only the entire registration process will be completed by today. That is why this is the first time we are meeting. So you don't need to worry at all. Yeah. So this is the first class. Yes, so this is the link that we are using right now. Is the link for the whole semester, and this link you can see is there in the email signature, class link. So so if you just want to join class, you open any of the emails that you will get from us, and in that email you will be able to trace the class link. So that is why it is there in the signature. And so you just click this link and join the class, and you don't need to really copy and paste it somewhere or trace it every time when you want to join the class. You just click, you just access any of our emails and go to the signature section, and you'll be able to access the class link. Similarly, there is also another link you will see here, which is there in the email signature as well. This is the G Drive link. So once you open the G Drive link, you will see that there are folders. So these folders will get, will start getting flooded with documents and materials as the course actually runs. And I'll explain why these 4 folders are there, and what are the materials that you should be expecting in these folders. So if you just click information and notifications, by now you will see that the EH course structure, that is tentatively the syllabus, is already there. Right. So I'm not saying that this is absolutely sacrosanct. There will be, or there may be some modifications, but this is more or less the tentative course structure that is there for spring 2022. So you more or less know, how we would be actually moving, and what are the dates for class assignment. So I'll again explain what we are planning in terms of class work assignment this time, and then what are the dates for group presentations. Again, as I told you that of course you will get all separate sets of information or instructions against particular events or assignments or several other things that would occur within this course. And that is why this folder is information and notifications. So all the important information you will get an email from the Environmental Humanities email ID. But also, like for example, if you're planning for a test, if you're planning for an assignment, if you're planning for the classwork in a little bit in a kind of innovative way, and you are supposed to prepare yourself and come to class, join the class after preparation. For example, if there is a plan that maybe I'll ask 3-4 people to work together on a particular thing, or there can be several plans. Right now, that those plans are still not there, but I have kept it open so that you can also express your interest in terms of what you would like to do, etc. So all this important information, if you click this folder, all this information will be available here. So apart from emails, when you access this G Drive link, you will also get everything here. So that is why we have kept it like this: information and notification. Okay, readings, this is very evident, so you can understand what I mean, the things that should be there in this particular subfolder or folder. So readings means all the references, the reference materials. So for example, when I will finish teaching one particular topic, so for example, political ecology, so tenets and principles. So then you can see political ecology I have kept as an entire chunk actually. So because I'll be covering frameworks in environmental social sciences research. So there are several frameworks and several approaches in environmental social sciences research, which also talk to other disciplines of sciences, natural sciences, and engineering as well. So we'll have a whole lot of discussion on I2S, which is integration and implementation sciences. So for example, political ecology will be one of the topics, will be one of the themes in this particular course. So when we finish political ecology, when I complete this particular topic, then of course you can expect that in the reading folders there will be files on political ecology, and I will also will try to organize readings in a particular way, so that again it is convenient for you to understand like what are the readings or what are the exact materials in the form of PDF, PPT, etc. that you need to access so far as a particular topic is concerned, right? So this is about readings. Then there are two more folders. So one is evaluation. So maybe when I'll be asking you to upload documents where you have worked on, so I will be asking you to do homework, and I will be asking you to, for example, work on group assignments, and then again we will have a separate sets of instructions against this, and we will update you with all these when we need to update you with these instructions, and you have to upload your files or your documents or whatever in this particular folder. So evaluation folder is meant for the documents or files that will actually be evaluated. And then there is something called a class highlight. So I have a plan this time, so I'll share the plan with you. And then ask you that whether you think, if you think this plan is making sense or not. If not, fine. If yes, we will just execute it, because this is the first time I'm trying to do this. But in my offline classes, often I used to do this, but honestly always not in a very organized manner, but in a haphazard way, more or less in a more scattered and haphazard way. But I found sometimes this to be quite interesting and significant. But it also depends on the particular class and the students who are here, their own interests, and we can just see like whether it would work or not. And this is not a big deal, it's very, very simple. So, and but I see the benefits of this exercise to be to be quite more significant and percolating than the kind of effort or the efforts that would actually go into it. So by class highlights, I actually mean that, for example, a full course will actually start from tomorrow. And so when I'll be delivering a lecture, or you can see, the course structure, that there are also other names like Ruktima and Sheoshi. So they are my research scholars, and they are working on topics which are, of course, greatly, largely, and directly related to environmental humanities, and they are doing like fascinating work. So I have a couple of projects, and they are involved in 2-3 of these projects, and so their research works are lively reflections of field work, ethnography, archival research, several other things. So we are cross-fertilizing several methods and methodologies to kind of address the ecosystem as a complex system, and we are also kind of applying the systems thinking approach to understand coupled socio-ecological interactions. So Ruktima is mainly focusing on the dry fish sector in the Indian Sundarbans, and Shreosi's work is on the Adi Gonga in Kolkata. So they are very they are quite well trained with with theories and approaches and paradigms in environmental humanities. So they would be covering parts of this course. So for example, Ruktima has extensively worked on what is known as SES, that is socio-ecological system, and she will be familiarizing you with ACS for this course, because we would be actually covering frameworks in environmental social science research, which also includes socio-ecological system. So what I'm trying to say in terms of class highlights is that, so for example, when I take a class, or when Roktima or Shoshi takes a class, so maybe we will ask someone, so if we need to make it more thrilling, we can ask at the end of the class. So there can be a random selection, or we can actually go by roll numbers. We will see how we will be doing it. So we ask two students to actually kind of discuss among themselves, and then just compile some of the key points, some of the key highlights that was covered in that particular class. So maybe what I'll be teaching tomorrow. So tomorrow also it will be more a kind of an overview, an introductory class, but overview in terms of the domain or the discipline, but not not the open-ended overview that we are having today. But tomorrow we'll be having more serious discussions on on the domain itself. So, but I also need to keep it little how do I say, floating, so that you can understand the how environmental humanities is actually different and quite unique by itself, and how different it is from mainstream ecological research or ecological sciences, for that matter, or ecology as a subject. But then also in order to have a better grip and grasp on the domain, it's also important to understand its flavor and its essence. So yes, so tomorrow I'll be trying to give you the flavor of environmental humanities, and also discuss this course structure step by step, and why we have kept all these themes, and why we have organized it in this particular way. Then what is the logic, or what has been the relevance behind kind of designing this course structure in such a way. So this is something which I'll be placing the contents of the course structure for spring 2022 tomorrow. But before that, I will give you a general introduction. So there will be this reaching the destination story, very small story, and we'll be having a whole lot of discussions and interactions on that. So, like for example, when I teach, when I'll be teaching tomorrow, so maybe after the end of the class, I will just ask. So after the end of the topic, sorry, I'll ask someone or two students to actually kind of compile all the key highlights that we covered, that I covered, or that I will be covering tomorrow. And then also some, if we will be having a kind of an interactive discussion, an interesting one, and for sure, whole lot of ideas we would emanate from our interactions. So when I or any of the other instructors would actually be speaking, of course, important and linear things will be discussed, but I also give a whole lot of weightage on interactions. And this is an opportunity because you are a mixed batch coming from different disciplines and different disciplinary orientations. And I have to confess it here that, last 5 years, to a great extent, my perspective on environmental humanities, to a great extent, my perspectives have been shaped by your ideas and your, insights and inputs. So I also try to take this opportunity to discuss more and more with you, so that we as a team, so all of you and myself and Shourvadip and Amit and Roktima and Shoshi, so all of us who are here, so all of us get enriched with each other's reflections. So it's not that we have to have agreements on a particular topic or a theme or even a definition, but we will definitely be having disagreements, and from those disagreements also, or what I would like to say is that from those dialogues and debates, we will be we'll be able to kind of look into a particular thing from a more inclusive and comprehensive manner. Because when I'm explaining something, so for example, when I'm putting the definition of water in a particular way before you, so when I'm placing water in a particular way before you, your ideas may clash with me. Some of my ideas may converge with you, but then some of the ideas may clash with the way you perceive water, for example. And why is this so? Because, for example, you have your different kind of disciplinary training and orientation. Your definition is also shaped by your own experiences. Several other things, your personal beliefs, your economic background, your ideology, so many other things, that influence the way we see, we perceive, we understand things. So it will be very important, and the best part of this course, or any other course for that matter, for at the BTech level, is that we get lot of scope to continuously think and rethink, conceptualize, reconceptualize, deconceptualize things. So we will be having lot of interactions. So whenever I'm saying something, after that, that will be followed by interactions. And so the volunteers who would be actually taking the notes, or finally compiling those key highlights, I would request that should also be covering, the points that we will be taking up during the interactive sessions, or during our interactions. So that is why it is. And what is the advantage of this? The advantage is that not only the volunteer or the volunteers who would be doing this would have a better grip on what would have been discussed on that particular topic, or in that particular class. But also, if somebody misses a class, so he or she can just go to this drive and check the class highlights against a particular date and come prepared the next day. He will not feel lost. So because sometimes when you miss one or two class, then you start losing interest, because you cannot follow things anymore. And this is a subjective subject. This is not like all the themes are extremely connected to each other. So if you miss certain discussions, sometimes it becomes a bit difficult to pick up. But then again, you pick up after 2-3 classes. But then if the class highlights are there, it is easier. So it is easier also for me to, so when I start the class, so before starting the class, I just go to this folder, and then for 5 minutes or 7 minutes, I take a look into this. So I also remember like what are the things which we had already discussed. And so how would I, how would I craft my entry plane today on the basis of what already had been discussed and interacted upon in the previous class. Right? So these are the 4 folders, and this is our plan. Yes, so I would now very much like to have your opinions, or anything if you want to share, any worries, any queries, anything. If you want to discuss or share with me now, go ahead. You can also, if some of you want to quickly introduce yourself, please go ahead and do that. And also I would definitely love to hear your opinions relating to what are your expectations, from this course, and what are you looking forward to.
Excuse
Hello,
me.
ma'am.
Yes, Abdul, and followed by Sultan.
I think, ma'am, Pranav said something. He can go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Saika. Ma'am, just curious, like if we want to contact you, do we contact you on this environmental humanities email ID?
You can, but if it is something urgent, then the Gmail ID that is there with you. So I sent an email to all of you yesterday night. So you will see that I also copied myself, giniamukherjee@gmail.com.
Okay,
We can
ma'am.
also paste my email ID here in the chat box.
Okay, ma'am. The reason I asked this is I registered a bit late for this course and thought that I might have missed a lecture on Tuesday last week. So I just emailed you on that ID that I have not attended a class.
I got 800 emails, Pranav.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, so I'm very sorry. I was just waiting. My strategy was a bit shrewd, because otherwise it was unmanageable. So I run 2 courses. I'm offering 2 courses this semester. One is this one, and the other one is Sciences and Humanism course. It's not that I did not receive your email, but the problem is that since last 1 week or so, maybe last 8-9 days, I had received more than like, so for science humanism, I had received even more emails, like more than 1,000, I guess, and for environmental humanities, 800 emails. And there are requests of registration, of course. But I was centrally allotted with 70 students, and unfortunately, like I knew that only out of 70, maybe like 50 or 45 will join. So then I will have like 15, 20 seats more with me. And honestly, I don't want to make it a large class, because then it is very difficult to manage, the group assignments. And not only that, it's not possible to interact. It's not possible to give attention to all of you and all of your interests and thoughts, etc. So as I want to put a lot of weightage on, maybe also sometimes one-to-one interaction and discussion, and also like the way we try to design or come up with group assignments. So the class, the numbers cannot be like huge. So always the idea is to keep the numbers within 70. 70 is also quite large in terms of this particular course, but anyway, 70 is manageable. So that is why I could not respond to any one of you. But it's not that I didn't receive it.
Yes, ma'am. I understand, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, Shobha?
Good morning, ma'am. What I wanted to tell is that I received the link, yes, for sure, but that was only in my Zimbra account. So I think some of the students have missed. Some of the students, they are not receiving the links on the Gmail account, so that might create a bit of inconvenience, because
Like actually,
Zimbra
the mail was actually received in the spam for many people.
Exactly,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't notice that then.
Okay, so what I will again request or suggest is that the email IDs that we are actually that I could basically access from my email from my ERP account. So all the email, all of your email IDs, I could actually access from my ERP account, like as it happens. But if you want, and I tried to click that option, like all available email IDs. But maybe even after that, if some of you did not receive your email ID in the email account that you prefer to receive emails, what I would suggest is that it would be really good if you can send a separate email to us using the environmental humanities email ID. Right? Just send an email saying that I would like this email account to get added into the class list. Is that fine?
Yes, ma'am. I just checked my spam folder. It was there, so it was an issue at my end only. So I
No,
have
but
marked it as
yeah,
not.
okay, all right. But still, if anyone, any one of you would like to, kind of get, so if you have your preferences on particular accounts, just let us know. Send an email. We'll add all these email IDs to the list that we are using to send emails. Is that fine?
Yes, ma'am, for sure. Thank you.
All right. So when will we have our test one? When do you want to have it? We can have it right now as well. So Orunendra, where are you? I can't
Yes,
see
ma'am.
you. So why are you so worried?
No, ma'am, like asking because I cannot see in your course structure like test one or something. Or maybe I missed.
Maybe?
Maybe like I skipped that part.
No. It is not there actually. You are right. So,
Okay.
so were you there in any of my other courses? So how do you know that I always call it test one, test two, like that?
Like I
So
have heard from my friends who took in semester 3.
right, then that is why I could understand that, because that is how we used to keep it, like test one, test two, like. Now, what happens is that last semester, so this autumn 2021, so when the course was over, everything was over, evaluation, everything got over. So we were having our last class. That was the last class, and then I asked students that they were so, and the course was over, so they became very open, transparent with me, and also because it was a journey for an entire period of 3 to 4 months, and it was fun. So all of them then had the courage, or they of course they wanted to share their opinions and all. So I asked them to provide me with individual feedback or anything that they want to share with me and with us, and also more importantly, criticism. What is the thing that they did not like about this course at all? So number of them actually said that this particular way of taking class tests, conducting that class test. And I must tell you that when this format also was of course not there in the offline mode, because offline mode you had mid semester and end semester. But then when there was a switch to this online mode, then we were also given a lot of instructions from authorities, so that how we can actually manage and organize our specific courses. So we were asked to conduct exams in Moodle. I never conducted exams in Moodles, but again, as I told you that I always use this Google platform. So we use Google document, Google Forms actually. It was very easy for students, for us, and the students also could use their mobile phones to sit for the test, to give the test. And like for test one, so it was like 25 marks, for example, out of total weightage of 100, 25 marks was test one. And if it was 25 marks, then like maybe 20 questions, or not 20, sorry, maybe 15, 12 to 15 questions on MCQs. So when we are, like for example, when I had completed like 3-4 topics, and then there was test one on that entire chunk. So MCQs from those 3-4 topics, and concept notes. So concept notes, like where you have to write brief notes about how do you conceptualize certain things. For example, the Anthropocene. So like that. So then they criticized, that a method. My last batch of students. They said, this doesn't make any sense. The way we discuss things, the way we interact, the way ideas, get kind of floated and flourished when we discuss, and when we do a whole lot of even like we even engage in cognitive experiments. So these MCQs, this is a farce. You should stop this, because like MCQ, anyone can just open the like PDFs and PPTs and fill up the MCQs. So how are you actually making how can you evaluate a student? How can you evaluate our like whether we have been able to learn or kind of internalize certain things, the topics which are so very important. So how can you actually evaluate us on the basis of the MCQs? So otherwise, you have designed the whole course in such an interesting, interactive way. But this test one, test two, they don't really do justice to your evaluation framework. So that is how they were very vocal, and assertive with their opinion. So, and they also gave me several other feedback. So what I'm doing now, so that I'm also trying to process, those criticisms, and to see like how best I can incorporate some of them during this semester. So when I write classwork come assignment, I have not right now have not planned. I have few things in my mind, but I cannot give you a very concrete plan right now. As I have the plan with the course structure, you can see that is more or less concrete. It's not sacrosanct, because it always will have the, like you will have the option to tell me that, this theme we really don't want, or maybe this theme we don't want so much of weightage on this theme, or why don't you include these 1 or 2 themes which we find can be interesting for this course. So that freedom, that flexibility remains there, but more or less, the plan is there. So in this environmental humanities course, but I have not planned the classwork come assignments yet. So give me 2-3 more days, and maybe when the course starts. And please keep this in mind that I'll be consulting all of you. Nothing will be happening in an autocratic manner, in which I will have the convenience. No, it has to be the convenience of all of us. And the whole idea is to finally learn something. What are we doing actually? Grades and CGPAs and good placements and packages are not being able to take care of the world at all. Right? So all of us are great minds, no doubt about that. But when it is actions, we cannot do anything. Or maybe we are doing just a bit, a very, a minuscule of our actual potentials. So our potentials are all there, lying in a hidden, in a passive way or manner. Though the whole idea is to basically activate and elicit those hidden potentials to get committed towards larger causes. The CGPA, placements, all other things will be at place. If we are passionate, or if we have a very clear picture of, we have clarity of what we are doing, why are we doing this, how should we be doing this, and what is our final agenda and destination. And all the courses, all the themes, all the disciplines, all the domains are interrelated to each other. It is very important. I think it is imperative now to be able to address and be careful to spotify and identify those integrations and convergences. Then something can happen. So what is missing is the collective understanding of complex systems. We keep fighting among ourselves, for example, a person coming from geology fights with for example, a person coming from social sciences, but both of them are working on waters. And unfortunately, they cannot map the converging nodes. It is important. It is very important now to actually, again, what I said, that, to actually collectively understand complex systems, and ecology is such a very important thing of discussion. You have seen this. So previously, when I had to explain the rationale of this course, that why did I design this course, what it is all about, why do we need environmental humanities as a separate course? Because so many other courses are there. There is environmental engineering, there is environmental economics, there is environmental sciences, there is ecology. So why do we need environmental humanities as a different course? What is it? How is it different from all these other names that I just mentioned? So I had to really, put some efforts to actually, kind of convey the rationale or the relevance behind this particular course. But the pandemic, unfortunately, or fortunately, has made my position, very easy. Now I really don't need to explain the rationale anymore. All of you know that why it is important for us to, redefine, re-ontologize, rethink the interconnections between society and environment, between human beings and environment, between human beings and all other, planetary beings, all other beings, all other entities who, cohabit the planet Earth with all of us, right? So I think, I think we are here with larger agendas, and we are here to make more. I mean, we are here to make stronger connections. And all these other things like evaluation and those things, of course, that is important and will be taken care of. We don't really need to worry a lot about that. But what is more important is in the 3 months, like how best would we be able to, discuss several chunks, several threads of environmental humanities, how best I would be able to, share my ideas, share my training induced knowledge before you, so far as this course is concerned, and how I can also get informed. Of course, I have to get informed by your thoughts, which are shaped by your experiences and your exposure and your training to your particular disciplines and beyond. Does that answer your question? Yes. So anything else, any other question you have? And one more thing is that, it will be good if you can, it will be better for you actually, and for me, for all of us, if you attend classes. Because most of the discussions, almost everything, 90%, not 90, maybe 80 to 85% would be done in the class. Then you have to read some materials, some readings that will be there for you. But the main focus would be would be our live classes. So if we engage, if we are able to engage in our live classes with full concentration, I think more than 80% of our job is done. And this is not just for these 3 semesters. I don't want you to learn concepts in environmental humanities just for these 3 months and for this particular semester, but to carry some of it with you throughout. Yeah. So that we'll see that whether that possibility is there or not, whether you will be feeling excited, you will be feeling interested, you will be feeling motivated to do this or not. So we'll see. It's not that each one of us interest will have to have a particular direction, but of course environmental humanities is such a broad domain of thought, of discourse, of praxis, that we have no option but to get ourselves engaged in this particular domain. Yeah. So any more question? I just can't see one female student, Kaushiki, or are there others? So Kaushiki, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
So, okay, so you are from which discipline, and what are your expectations from the course?
Ma'am, I'm from the Civil Engineering Department, enrolled in its dual degree course. And ma'am, the name of the subject is itself very interesting to me, and I wish to learn a variety of things from here. And let's see now.
Yes, so this term, as you said, the name itself, like environmental humanities, is interesting, and this reminds me of an exercise that I actually did. So I try to dissect, these two terminologies, these 2 terms, environment and humanities, and then try to find out their interconnection. So this I did, like, I think 3-4 semesters back in one of my offline classes. So I tried to actually dissect these 2 keywords that actually make the subject, and then I came up with a very funny how do I say, definition and explanation. But then that explanation itself is a bit paradoxical and ironical, but then what we finally concluded or came up with in that class, when the class ended, that yes, that is actually the crux of environmental humanities. So this is a very good thing that you had commented on the name, these 2 words, environment and humanities. So what is the meaning of environment in environmental humanities, and is the particular meaning given to environment different from the way environment is actually defined or thought upon or perceived in other ecological branches of knowledge? And what is this humanities, and what happens when environment and humanities actually come together? So I'll just note it down, and tomorrow, so when we'll be having this overview class on the domain itself, I'll take this up. Thank you. So any more questions from any one of you? Any yes, Gopal. Yes. Yes, so I think I will be having, so in this batch there would be like 70 students. I don't think that the number would be, should be exceeding 70. So till now it is 70 actually. So maybe if some of you then join another course, then the number can also get a bit reduced. So it should not be less than 65 and it should not be more than 70. So if it is 70, for example, so then you can see that there are 10 groups, right? Group, oh, I have not put the numbers. Okay, so there would be roughly like 10 groups, for example, if the number is 70. So in each group, if it is 70, so there will be like 7 students, and I will give assignments to all of you. No, believe me, they would not be boring assignments. They would definitely interesting assignments. And I also know that this is a breadth course, so I will not expect that you will be, working like mad to complete your assignment. No, but I will try to give you assignments from the topics that will actually be covered in class. But then you will be asked to work on the particular topic to actually enrich it with your with your reflections, with your understandings, with your readings, with your interpretation of those topics. But I will ask you to do it in a more innovative way. It will not be typical assignment where you just need to submit a project, and that doesn't work. All copy pasted materials, sick and tired of taking a look into those. But maybe I'll ask you to design a logo. I don't know. I have to plan those out, but I have. So it does not mean that I don't have the plan at all, because I am conducting, or we are conducting group presentations and assignments since the last few semesters, both offline, online, and I must say that online mode, the group presentations become much more interesting because we have the flexibility again to innovate with the nature and patterns of presentations. So it would be like that. So maybe I can ask you to make a very small recorded file. Maybe I may ask you to write a blog piece, for example. So 7 of you are working, but maybe you just need to submit a 1500 word blog piece, and the topic will be given by you. Maybe I'll ask you to design a template for a virtual exhibition on a particular topic that would be covered within environmental humanities. Is that does that answer your question, Gopal? Yes. This is again something that creates sometimes fuss and a lot of questions. What do you think? Do you think that you should be what should be the ideal situation? Tell me.
Ma'am, ideal situation should be randomized.
Yeah, that is. And why do you think like that? Why do you think that it is the ideal one?
Ma'am, because it is not always. What can I say? Like, ma'am, I'm in my last year. I just want to know more about my juniors and other people. That's why.
Yes, exactly. So I think I feel the way you are feeling, Shoykot, because like, for example, we have to actually kind of break these barriers of our comfort zones.
Right.
Because we don't function well. Take my words. I'm now much more older than you. So when I joined 5-6 years back, I was a little younger, and I used to say that I am one of you. But now I think with my age, I have to say that I'm older and hence wiser a bit. Maybe not in every sense of the term, but in a few things, maybe a little more experience than you. So I would share my experience by saying that we really don't give our very best, or we don't, super perform when we become comfortable. So it is always the bit of the crisis that actually enables us to harness the best of our potentials and enable us to, finally, crisis actually gets transcended into opportunities. Right. So initially, it's we don't feel comfortable because we don't know the group members. But then it is an opportunity to work together, to know others, to see, to learn from each other's domain actually. So they are not only persons, they are not only your friends or persons, but they are people, with their own ideas. And as I mentioned, all these ideas will very much determine, influence, and shape by their training and experience and knowledge and belief systems and whatnot. So it's a fascinating opportunity to actually work with friends whom you don't know, because you are also getting an opportunity to craft new or to kind of forge new avenues of friendship. What do you think, Gopal? Do you think that I'm being a dictator? Now, do you think that this is sounding authoritarian, or you are okay with randomized selection? Both are fine. But yes, one disadvantage is there. That is sometimes, people whom you don't know, if they remain very deactivated, or rather if they remain very passive, so you're sending emails to them, they are not responding. That is a problem, because this is again a problem which had occurred in the last few times. This is always something, this is something which will actually crop up in group assignments. So, but I will try to see and ensure, and here I have to be a bit stringent and strict to see that everyone gives their very best and participate. It's not that in the group assignment there are 7 students and only 3 or 4 students are working very hard, and the other 3 students, they're not available, they're not sitting with their friends, they're not responding over emails. That should not be the case. That should not really be the ideal case. This is not good. You should be reaping the fruits of your collective enterprise. You should not be considering yourself as an individual entity. All of us do that. That is fine. That is very much there. That is ingrained. That is in our brain. We don't need to work hard on that. But what we need to work hard at is how do we also take things up as a collective enterprise and reap the fruits of that collective enterprise. That should be a problem. All right. So I think we just have 5 more minutes left with us. Any final question or query or anything from any of you? Yes,
Ma'am, a silly question from my side. Like tomorrow class will be on the scheduled central time or?
Yes, central timing. So we will have classes on Monday and Tuesday. So Monday from 11 to 12, 11 a.m. to 12 noon, and Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. So these 3 hours slots are dedicated to this course. Monday, Tuesday, morning hours. Monday 11 to 12, and Tuesday 8 to 10. This is the schedule for our regular classes. And when you see the course structure, which is there in the drive, so you see it has been planned following those dates only. All right. Anything else? Any concern?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Aditya.
Ma'am, will these sessions be recorded? Or,
Unfortunately, no. But as I mentioned that you will, I'm trying to come up with this plan of this class highlights, so that you would be able to know at least important discussions or important things which were covered in the previous class. But you will not have the opportunity to actually go through the entire recording. And the reason why I don't prefer recordings are many. So you may again have disagreements with me, but one is that with this online semester we started recording everything, and so much of files, so many files get generated out of this, and so I mean the storage space just remains like enormous. And honestly speaking, tell me that if we are, for example, recording. So I'm recording for example 30 hours of my lecture, for example, 30 or 35 hours of my lecture, and then how many people, maybe 2 or 3 students who would be actually missing some classes, they can actually go through the recording, but I don't think that they will also go through the so for example, if I'm taking a class between 8 and 10 on a Tuesday, and Aditi, you have missed the class. So do you really think that you will be actually listening or actually spending those 2 hours? Maybe we'll just keep, and in the fast forward we'll be picking up a few things, right?
yes, probably depending on time constraints.
Yes, because you will not have the time, because all of you and all of us would be busy with the semester. Once the semester starts and it takes its full-fledged form, then we have so much. So once we miss a class, we miss it. We have to come to terms with the reality. If things have been switched or shifted to the online mode, does not mean that our time scale or our duration or time has increased to it's only 24 hours. That remains same. So once you miss a class, you actually miss it. So the better model or the better mechanism can actually be to take a very quick look of key highlights. And if you have any question, you can ask me in the next class. But
Okay,
I
ma'am.
would definitely also be rolling out some YouTube video lectures, because I also I have offered, or I am still offering this, some of the NPTEL courses. So I have 2 courses. One is 8-week, and one is 4-week course. One is on water and water society sustainability, and one is environment and urbanization. So few things which there will be some convergences. So some of those lectures I will ask you to go through those, because those lectures then becomes your reading material. Getting it, Aditya? So I'll be sending those links to you. So I'll also be pasting those links, in a reading folder. So there, those recorded or those recordings you have to treat as readings, as reading materials. Because few things, for example, part of political ecology, which I had thoroughly covered in my NPTEL lectures. So maybe I will take the opportunity of a live class to discuss more, to interact more. Okay, but for example, for explaining some of the fundamental principles, I'll ask you to go, to watch the lecture and then come prepared in the class, and then we, just start political ecology with our reflections and discussions and interactions, etc. So that is there. That will be there.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks.
Yeah? Okay then. So it is 12, and I'll meet you all tomorrow morning. Have a very productive and pleasurable also week ahead, and see you all tomorrow. And if you have further questions, don't hesitate asking me in our live classes, and also you can email us in the Environmental Humanities Gmail ID. All right, all the very best. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.